9-1 for player props, 9-4 for touchdown picks. Week 1 was great. In today's video, I'm going to give you one player prop for all 15 NFL games remaining. And probably some extras, because I'm a degenerate. And you probably are too, so let's have fun. All right, quick overview of today's video. Left side of the screen, we have underdog. Right side of the screen, my betting tools website, myspreadyedge.com. We'll be using both. We'll also make some touchdown picks and some parlays on no big, and we'll head over to DraftKings at the end and build out some type of parlay. I build a primetime parlay, one for every game for my VIPs. I've cashed out 3 of them so far, and a 4th one was cashed out by one of my staff. That VIP link is down below if you're interested. Now let's talk Jahmyr Gibbs. More importantly, let's talk Dan Campbell. The Lions coming off a bad loss in week 1 against the Packers, who just look too good for the NFC right now. They just smacked the Commanders on Thursday Night Football. My betting models had the Packers money line and Packers spread, both top 3 picks. Cash. I can't wait for Sunday. But I digress. That's a running joke. You had to be there. But I digress. Dan Campbell coming off a loss? Yeah. He gets the Lions ready. They've covered the spread in 10 straight games off a loss. So we got the Lions -5.5 at home against the Bears. Ben Johnson leading that offense. Fell apart in the 4th quarter against the Vikings. Lost 21-7 in the 4th. Ugh. So I think Dan Campbell, Detroit Lions, and Jahmyr Gibbs. Statement game win. Cover the spread. Blowout victory. And if that happens, Jahmyr Gibbs for days. All props look good. He played 67% of the snaps in week 1. That's in line with the end of the season and the playoff game last year against Philly. He had 3 red zone opportunities, couldn't punch it in. Also had a pass thrown his way, didn't score. Now his touchdowns are juicy. The odds are about -160 or so, depending on where you go. It's a nerfed multiplier on underdog, but I love it. I really do. I still love it. I think the alternative option would be to probably look at his rushing yards or longest rush. He keeps busting loose. Matter of fact, last season at 17.5 for a longest rush, right there on underdog as well. He had a 18+ yard carry in 12 of 17 games. He did it again in the playoffs with a 33-yarder against the Commanders. In week 1 against the Packers, 14-yarder was the longest run that he had. That Packers defense is so good. All right, pick 2. We're going to talk about TD Lamb, baby. CeeDee Lamb. Major bounce back spot incoming for the Cowboys at home against the hapless New York Giants. Russell Wilson leading the charge, and I have a feeling he doesn't come out as the starter after halftime in this one. Now, CeeDee Lamb has a longest reception on underdog this week at 25.5. Let's take a look at this from last season, and we also have to understand that part of the year was without Dak Prescott. So I'm going to dive deeper into the information and data for you so you can make an informed decision here. Who loves you, baby? Week 1 against Philly, he had a 32-yard catch. What do you know? Nice, beautiful, long reception. Go back to last season, and despite the fact that he only played 8 games with Dak Prescott, he still had a 27-yard catch or longer in 11 of the 15 games. So you can essentially say 75% of the time he's at a 27+ yard catch. Now, I told you I was going to dig deeper for you, and I did. Last season with Dak, this season with Dak, we have a 9-game sample size. In those games, he's had a 27+ yard reception or higher or longer in 8 of the 9 games. Dak loves taking downfield shots to CeeDee. CeeDee actually would have had 3 catches longer than 30 yards in that game. He dropped 2 of them in week 1. He took a lot of ownership over those mistakes in post-game interviews, took it like an absolute alpha, and I expect him to show up and show out in a big way in this game. I think climbing the receiving yards ladder makes sense. A touchdown, 2+ touchdowns, 25.5 long reception, higher. I love all CeeDee Lamb props this week. 2 players we need to look at for this next game. It's going to be Lamar Jackson and his passing touchdowns. It's going to be Derrick Henry and everything. Just an absolute letdown against my Buffalo Bills, baby. I'm sorry to my Ravens fans. I actually love Lamar Jackson. Probably one of my 3 or 4 favorite players in the NFL. I love him as a person. Seems like a cool dude. Love the passion he plays with. I'm a big fan of Lamar Jackson's. And I'll be betting on him this week. 2+ passing touchdowns, longest completion, higher than 35.5. Fantasy points could be higher. I mean, literally, you throw a dart at a Lamar Jackson play, and I'm behind it. I'm on the no big desktop here, and I'm a big fan of Lamar Jackson 2+ passing touchdowns. He closed out the season with 2+ in 6 straight games. He had 2+ against the Bills. Go back a little bit further, 10 of the last 11 games of the season. He had 2+ passing touchdowns. He had 2 against Cleveland, both games last year. They're home after an epic letdown. You have to think they're going to make a statement game. And for that reason, it ain't just Lamar Jackson that I love. And before we go on, let's talk about Derrick Henry really quick. The man had such an epically bad fumble in the fourth quarter. Love watching this dude play football. Who doesn't? And just like Lamar, he took ownership over his mistake. And you know what he's about to do this week? Take out his frustration and get some vengeance against the Brownies. 11.5-point road underdogs. Good luck to them. Derrick Henry racked up 130+ rushing yards in 8 of 17 games last season during the regular season. He had 138 against the Browns to close out the season. He had a rushing touchdown the last 2 years in 16 of 20 games alongside Lamar Jackson. He had 2+ rushing touchdowns in 5 of those games. So how do we take advantage? Well, I think you could start with Derrick Henry and a Ravens win. Then you could go to low-hanging fruit like Derrick Henry and his rushing yards and something as simple as this. Henry for 60+, Ravens to win, Henry for a touchdown, -115. But if you're really feeling frisky, climb the ladder, baby. 100+ yards. Now you're at a +188. 110+ yards, 242. Put it at 120. +300. Derrick Henry for 130, +400. So on and so forth. You can continue to climb, honestly, the parlay ladder. I cannot imagine a game where he rumbles for $150 and also does not score a touchdown. He probably had a long touchdown run to make it happen. And I would not be shocked to see 2+ touchdowns in this game. I think Derrick Henry goes nuclear. Next up, let's talk about Kyren Williams. Rams on the road against Tennessee. But first, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. I'm serious. I am humbled to my core. I called my parents yesterday. I've been chatting with my wife 24/7 about it. She's heard enough of all the YouTube metrics, but I can't help it. I'm in awe. The support and the growth on YouTube, I've never experienced it. I've been doing this since 2018. I started podcasting out of my car. I upgraded to podcasting out of a closet. Yes, you heard me. Then I moved into a pantry. Now I have an office. Somewhere in there, I also did it in a basement for a little bit. But I digress. Thank you. Thank you for all of this. You make this fun. Thank you for the likes. That's what I think YouTube's seeing the likes and they're like, all right, push this in front of other people. Thank you for the subscribers. And also thank you for all the genuine comments down below. I can't get over it. You guys have said some really genuine things and it's meant a lot to me. It's not just the casual comments. There's some really nice things. Kind of odd to take a second to do this in the middle of a video, but I don't care. Thank you. All right, back to sports betting. Kyren Williams, the engine to the offense. I'm fine taking him for a touchdown this week. Any week he suits up. Did you know Kyren has 32 touchdowns? Here I am. 32 touchdowns in 29 games as the starter for the Rams. If he suits up, helmet and pads, my man is good for a touchdown. He has a half dozen through the air, a couple dozen on the ground. He can score in a myriad of ways. He gets pass targets, tons of carries. Now, the odds are juiced, and you got to be careful about that, but clearly we can use that in a parlay. Matter of fact, Saturday's video, my touchdown picks, oh yeah, one for every game. Just like my game picks, just like my prop picks, touchdown picks. One for every game, always. That's what you get on my YouTube. I'm going to make a touchdown parlay, my official week 2 touchdown parlay in tomorrow's video. Make sure you come back. So I'll say that on the sports books, the anytime touchdown for Kyren, I think you could probably run out. I'll show you this. You can run out like an alt line lay where you run 60+ yards total on the ground, where he cashed that in 13 of 16 last season. You saw him in the playoffs go out there for 76 and a $1.06. And then in week 1, he also had, again, another 60+ yards rushing game. So that's 16 out of 19 games. Kyren Williams has had 60+ rushing yards. And we know he's had a touchdown in in 29 games. He has 32 touchdowns. So I think there's a path there to keep it nice and simple. Kyren Williams to score a touchdown in 60+ yards. That's a +100, man. I'm giving you plus odd plays left and right today. That's the best way to bet on a volatile sport like the NFL. I think that mindset is also why I continue to cash those SGPs for my members. Scared money don't make money. Another player we need to look at is going to be Puka Nacua. Now, for underdog, I think this is probably where I end up. Since I don't have access to the anytime touchdown for Kyren Williams, it's going to be Puka. Had 130 yards receiving and 11 pass targets from Matt Stafford. Rams offense only put up 14 points. Massive upside in week 2. 80.5 receiving yards. That's the spot right there. I think ultimately I'm going to land on Boom, receiving yards. If you take away the game he got injured in last season, he's actually had 80 plus receiving yards in 9 of 12 games with Matt Stafford under center last 2 seasons. Pretty good rate. All right, next game, Seattle on the road against the Steelers. Steelers, huge win in week 1 against Justin Fields and the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers turned back the clock through 4 passing touchdowns. You know who's going to get one this week? I think DK Metcalf gets fed. Although, I will say this, Jonnu Smith, lock and load. Love him in fantasy. Love him in betting. Let's look at his props. So what I'm going to do real quick here on the right side of the screen is I typed in his name, and now I'm just price shopping. And you can see you can get him for a touchdown plus 350 this week. And yes, we'll look at his player card here and some other things, including his receptions, which he had 5 of on 6 targets. And last season, we had 17 game sample size. My man had 4 plus catches in 11 of 17 games. And if you look at the final closing of the season, he actually hit the over in 10 of 13. So you could say he's hit the over 4 plus receptions in 11 of the last 14 games. And clearly, Aaron Rodgers likes the guy. And why do I bring that up? Because look at his total receptions. That's incredible. 3.5. You're getting great odds. I love this play. Jonnu Smith, 4 plus receptions is my play for the Seattle Seahawks and Pittsburgh Steelers game. Let's move on quickly. We're going to take our time on other games. All right, there's actually a handful of plays I like in the Bills and Jets game. I want to go right to touchdowns really quick, and I will talk about this a little bit more in Saturday's touchdown picks video. So again, come back tomorrow. I guess I should say Saturday. Come back Saturday for the touchdown picks video. James Cook, Josh Allen, Justin Fields all look interesting. In my last Saturday touchdown picks video, we cashed out Justin Fields plus 220. Player props wise, I think there's some interesting plays here. I'm slightly concerned about the New York Jets being at home here off a bad loss, and then the Bills coming off a massive emotional win, going on the road now after being at home in front of the crowd, all hyped up, singing Mr. Brightside at the end of the game. You know, Matt Prater, emotions were high, it was exciting. But now they're traveling into MetLife against the Jets, who took a tough loss and didn't look terrible, at least offensively speaking. So I'm concerned about volume-based props. What I mean by that is this: Khalil Shakir, receiving yards, James Cook, rushing yards. I'm more or less going to be looking at the splash plays. And who's going to get those splash plays for you? It's going to be Josh Allen. It's going to be James Cook, Justin Fields running. And we could probably look at some receiving stuff over there for the Jets because the Bills just keep getting beat over the top or across the middle because their safeties are so slow. So I think Garrett Wilson, longest reception, 21.5 is a very interesting play. And I like Justin Fields, 9.5 rush attempts in this game. You getting plus odds. I talked about this in my last Saturday's video. I said, hey, he had 1,000 yards rushing and almost 10 rushing touchdowns in his second year. And that's what we're going to get out of him this year if he plays the whole year with the Jets. He's already stated, I need to be a playmaker and stop worrying about things. He knows this is his last chance in the NFL to likely hold on to a starting job or get another contract going forward after this season. And we saw it in week 1. He was aggressive throwing the ball, didn't care about turnovers. He got outside the pocket, threw on the run, and he tucked it and ran it a ton. We saw him throw for 218 yards. He completed 16 of 22, and he had a touchdown pass. The long pass of 33. Again, I like the long reception for Garrett Wilson. But ultimately, that's what I love the most. He had 12 rushing attempts in that game, 48 yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns. Justin Fields is going to run it a ton this season. I honestly expect 1,000 rushing yards if he plays the full year. I think he's going to run nonstop. So if you're going to give me a mobile running quarterback in a game that could end up being high scoring against the Bills, whose defense might be a liability this year, give me the over 9.5 rush attempts plus odds. Or if you prefer, you can run out the rushing yards at 43.5. I think that's a totally fine option. And since I'm kind of just bouncing around, this video is more or less supposed to be like my version of just trying to give you as many picks as I can rather than the touchdown picks where it's like, hey, this is the best one for every game. I'm kind of breaking down the entire slate, if you've noticed. I think taking like an alternate line over there, an alternate projection on underdog 34.5 would be fine. If you want to run out the overall at 44.5, excuse me, you can do that as well. Again, just so we're abundantly clear, my VIP betting models and my official picks, my official touchdown parlay and my official primetime parlays. Those all go only in Discord down below. That ostails.bet/DFS and Donuts picks link. Yeah, that's the only way and the only place you will see all of my VIP plays, picks, and parlays. Will some of them be from this video? Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I'm essentially giving you all of my favorites, and then I boil that list down to what do I actually bet on, and then I show the people what I personally bet on each week. Grab that link down below if you want it. Let's get back to it. Good luck with the 49ers and the Saints. We're getting bad news out of San Fran. Entire team's hurt. I don't like that. I wish I had never bet on San Francisco earlier this week before the news cycle crushed my soul. Alvin Kamara is really the only person I can rely on for the Saints. Christian McCaffrey, the only person I can rely on for the 49ers. You know what's crazy? CMC did not score in week 1, but he had 11 red zone touches and targets. Nobody in the NFL had more than 8. I'm looking at you, Jonathan Taylor. We're going to talk about you soon, too, for that Broncos and Colts game. But CMC should have scored last week. That's a ton of opportunity. He had 8 carries and 3 pass targets. If I'm playing anything for CMC this week, it's going to be his touchdown props this week or his volume-based props. Yeah, rush attempts, receptions. I'm still waiting for him to prove that he's got burst for his yardage. That 22 carries for 69, that was not reassuring. But I did love 9 catches for 73. So give me volume-based receptions, higher than 4.5, higher than 33.5 receiving yards. I think those are great options, especially if Brock Purdy's out. You get a backup quarterback in there. You know, Mac Jones, former New England Patriots. It's not like he's never had starting quarterback opportunities. You got to think he's going to get the ball in CMC's hand. So I'll officially run out the 33.5 receiving yards. I think the Miami Dolphins messed up. I'm telling you the truth. I think they really screwed up this past week. They gave Devon Achane 7 carries. He churned out 55 yards. They gave him 3 catches, hammered out another 20 and a touchdown. The Dolphins looked horrific. One of the worst showings in week 1, maybe the worst. I think it's a bounce back spot for them. I think they win this game outright, and I think Devon Achane's the reason why. I expect him to get absolutely fed this week. I think they screwed up and they know it. I could see his rush attempts hitting the over, longest reception, longest rush, rushing touchdowns, receiving yards, rushing yards. I think he has a massive day. How am I going to pick my favorite? Well, I'll tell you right now. Now, there's some really interesting metrics when it comes to Achane with Tua. Listen to all of these. I'll go full screen. I always feel like people pay more attention. We have 12 games with Tua and Devon Achane last year in this season. He has 12 touchdowns in those games. He scored in 10 of those 12 games. He's had 32-plus receiving yards in 9 of those 12 games, with 4-plus catches in 9 of those 12 games. So I love the receiving yards for Achane. Again, I think they feed him in all the ways. I think he's about to turn into Kyren Williams for the Rams and be that version for the Dolphins. 15 to 20 carries, several pass catching opportunities, set up the play action, deep shots to Tyreek Hill. Give me Achane receiving yards. And if you have access, Devon Achane anytime touchdown, book it. Absolutely book it. 2 players we need to talk about in the Bengals against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Bengals look terrible in week 1. Bounce back spot against the Jags, who look pretty good against the Panthers. 26-10 win for them. Bengals barely won, 17-16. Chase Brown continues to catch the football out of the backfield, continues to score touchdowns. I think he's a fine option, but really, my bread's going to be buttered by one Chase, and it ain't Chase Brown. It's Jamar Chase, baby. Give me all the overs. That was a weird voice. I'm sorry. I did it for dramatic fashion, but I think Jamar goes bonkers. 1,700 yards, 17 touchdowns last season, and my guy goes out there and gets 2 catches for 26 yards. I would not be shocked to see his first reception be 30, 40 yards downfield. A 20-yard strike over the middle that he turns upfield, highlight reel 50 yards after the play is all said and done. Stands up, points the first down the field. Huge day incoming. I love him for a touchdown. I love his longest reception. I think his receiving yards, 100 plus, 120 plus. I love climbing the ladder for these guys. Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry, epic upside for days out of these 2. But I'm going to keep it simple. Longest reception, 25 plus. That's yards. I love it. Hey, real quick, if you're liking the pace of today's video, please like the video. Again, I talked about it earlier. Been humbled by my YouTube support. If you could just continue it up, hit that like button, and hey, if you bless me with a comment after you like the video, many kudos, many thanks to you. Let's continue. Going full screen on the No Big app. I love this one. Absolutely goated site. My preferred exchange in the markets. Code DONUTS, DONUTS, if you'd like to try it out. And we're going to bang out a couple games here really quickly so we can get to the Philadelphia and Kansas City game. So, Broncos Colts should be competitive. It really should be. Two props I absolutely love. Let's talk about them. First one, I think Jonathan Taylor scores this week. I'm not overthinking it. He had 8 red zone carries. J.K. Dobbins, we cashed a plus 160 anytime touchdown last week. Well, he's still a plus 139. I like that a lot as well. Cortland Sutton has a touchdown in 7 of the last 10 games with Bo Nix. Cortland Sutton, another great play. I like all 3 of these because we're getting plus odds, especially for these two. However, my favorite one in this game is going to involve Cortland Sutton. Looking at all his player props, shopping the lines. You can see all the books it's on. I'm on mysprearedge.com. I go to Cortland Sutton, and I'm looking at receptions this week. I love it. I really do. Look how he closed out last season. Last 10 games at 4.5. My man had 5+ catches in 9 of the 10 games. If we take the 5.5 plus odds on Novig, you're going to end up getting a very sweaty play, but there's no real reason to say it's not good. We saw him in the playoffs get 5 catches against the Bills. And then again in the season opener, he had 6. That's 11 of the last 12 games. Cortland Sutton has racked up 5+ catches, 6+ in 50% of the games. Next up, Carolina and Arizona. Literally one play. I'm going to make it quick because there's better games to talk about, including Philly and the Chiefs. James Conner for a tutty. Book it, move on. All right, breeze through 2 games because I'm realizing I'm like an hour into my recording. I got a ton of editing to do, and I'm about to get to the fun game. Give me the Chiefs, give me the Eagles, inject it right into our NFL fan-based veins because we get this afternoon game. I can't. How is this game not the primetime game for Sunday Night Football? I don't get it, man. It's a Super Bowl rematch. What are they doing? And this game's an Arrowhead. Got beat down in the Super Bowl. Makes no sense. Make no sense. If this were a primetime game, Sunday Night Football, their ratings would be off the charts, especially with the Chiefs starting the season 0-1 and being in Arrowhead for game 2, and the Eagles literally picking up where they left off as the champions of the freaking world. Now, how do we take advantage betting on this one? Well, first off, can we be real NFL fans for a second? Everybody's going to kick back and watch this game. Of course, you're going to want to scratch the itch while you're watching it. Me too. I'll probably end up making a parlay and posting that inside VIP Discord specifically for this game. I'll have a cheat sheet for this game with prop hit rates and all my betting notes as well. It's a big game. It's a marquee matchup. It deserves a little extra love. Now, for the purposes of this video, there's a few betting angles for it. I think the first part is right here. It's the touchdown markets. You know, Saquon, Juicy, Jalen, I think potentially might not have as many touchdowns as Barkley this year, but who knows? He's had 10+ 4 straight seasons for the Eagles, scored 2 in week 1. His odds at -117 are amazing, but you know who's actually really interesting? A.J. Brown, bounce back spot, had a horrific week 1, all the memes and everything about him. You think A.J. Brown isn't going to take that personally? I could see him going bonkers in this one. Long reception for him is a really interesting play. Somebody needs to be able to score touchdowns for the Chiefs. I still think Pacheco has a shot at getting in the end zone. If they put up enough points to make this a close game, if the 46.5 point total hits the over, who scored? Who scored? Kelsey, Pacheco, Hunt, some randoms. You know who's an interesting one? Patrick Mahomes. He scored in 4 of the last 7 games he's played. I don't know if this is a new trend. I think the pass attempts for Jalen Hurts is a little low at 26.5 heading into Arrowhead. Could be a game where he needs to throw it a lot more, but I don't think I can go there. I think one of my favorite angles for this game outside of the touchdowns, the big plays, is going to be Patrick Mahomes doing Patrick Mahomes things and racking up over 1.5 passing touchdowns. No one's really talking about it. I think everybody's focusing on the Eagles, and I get it, and I like them too. I actually think the Eagles could win this one. And I like Jalen Hurts. I like touchdowns. We'll talk about the touchdown stuff tomorrow in this Saturday touchdown picks video. And I don't have anything that fully backs this up and says, hey, you know, because of data A, B, and C, give me the 2+ tutties through the air for Patrick Mahomes. Nothing. I got nothing. Hit rate is fine. Home away splits, big games, close games, doesn't matter. Throw that all out the window. What I am betting on here is essentially this generation's Tom Brady in a game at home after starting 0-1 against the team that beat them in the Super Bowl, having some fire in his belly. You don't get a lot of this on YouTube, unfortunately, but it does have its place. Those gut feels, those tummy tingles. Yeah, well, that's your intuition. Sometimes we got to listen to it. And for me, It's Mahomes, 2+ touchdowns in this game. I think he does everything and anything he needs to do to win, to not go 0-2, and to get some vengeance, some revenge against the Eagles, who just embarrassed them in the Super Bowl. I'm backing Mahomes. All right, we have 3 primetime games Sunday and Monday night. Woo, baby! It's going to be a great week, too. Love what the NFL did this year, giving us that Friday slate in week 1, giving us 2 on Monday night. Cannot wait. Now, here's the deal. We got some news we're waiting for, injury-wise, that matters, and I have 2 marquee shows. Sunday morning and Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. I am here on YouTube for a live show. I build all sorts of parlays. We talk picks and a ton of Q&A in the chat. Grab your cell phone, turn your alarms on, and be here 9 a.m. Eastern, Sunday and Monday mornings. And let me help you win some money. Built a plus 1,200 parlay that cashed out in the Monday Night Football show on Monday morning. Let's run it back. Come back Sunday. Let's quickly breeze through these 3 primetime games because I have enough content and videos and live streams for them when the time comes. Atlanta and Minnesota. Bijan Robinson turning into the last man standing out there. We got Michael Penix Jr. against J.J. McCarthy in his 2nd start. Penix going into his 4th start. Should be interesting. Aaron Jones continues to catch the ball in the backfield. I don't know how, but he's not aging. He's 33, but he runs like he's 25. Totally underrated. 1,400 yards last year at age 32. Wild. Guy gets no respect. I respect him. We bet on him last week. I'll do it again this week. Justin Jefferson caught a touchdown. I'm a little leery of that repeating itself. Only had 6 targets in the game. However, J.J. McCarthy was playing his first game action in 18 months after getting hurt. Missed his entire rookie year. There was some rust, and we saw the rust in the first half. But he shook off the rust and showed off that draft pedigree of his, and he led the team to a 4th quarter come-behind win, scoring 21 points in the 4th quarter. Do they continue that at home Sunday night? Well, the crowd's going to be rocking, that's for sure. I think the Vikings win. I think they cover. But betting-wise, I think it's a really tough one. I don't want to be somebody that gives content just for clicks. I want to always make sure that the product I put out here on YouTube is actually a value to you. So I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not ready to bet on this game. I don't have an angle that I fully support enough to even share it here, even as a lean. These are not VIP official picks. These are all leans. They're my feels. And outside of me saying I like the Vikings in the cover at -4, I don't have a hot take. So I'm not going to force it. All right, Monday Night Football. I got better takes here. Tampa on the road. Listen to this. Baker Mayfield. Nobody in the NFL since 2023 has as many wins as an underdog in the NFL as Baker Mayfield. Nobody in the NFL has covered the spread as an underdog as Baker Mayfield. It's insane. Baker has just got this magic. And I love the fact that Houston has just not looked good this year, their first game. And last year, we saw CJ Stroud regress. And not much changed in week 1. Kind of just been downhill since their Rookie of the Year award. Now, I do think Nico Collins has potential for bounce back, but that run game is non-existent. So what happens? Teams are going to take the top off, and we're going to see guys like Nico Collins struggle, I think, because where else is the threat? That long reception prop we kept cashing last year at 26+ yards, 27+ yards. Yeah, it looked terrible in week 1. He had 3 targets. He never even got looked at in the second half. It was a disaster. Now, Tampa on the other side, Bucky Irving keeps scoring touchdowns. He ran over 70% of the snaps for the backfield, which was great to see. He is the de facto 1A in this backfield. I don't even know if there's a 1B. Actually, I think he's just RB1. Mike Evans, he did okay last week, but really didn't get the attention I thought he deserved. So I believe this week is the get right spot for Mike Evans. I think he scores a touchdown. He's got long odds for it. I think he gets a nice long catch. Downfield target. Like Bucky Irving rushing yards is interesting, but I definitely like him for a touchdown. And I can't touch any Houston props. I actually like Tampa to win this game outright, not just cover at +2.5. Chargers and Raiders. Monday Night Football. It's the 10 p.m. game. Good luck to you East Coasters. That's me. I'm an old man. Some would call me an unk. I'll call myself a tired dad who's bald. Justin Herbert had all his toys healthy. Looking good in week 1. Marion Hampton looks strong, fast. He's going to be a threat as the season goes on. Keenan Allen, man, did he assimilate well into the offense. I like Allen for receptions this week. Lad McConkey bounce back spot. Absolutely. I love him too. I think the Chargers go in there and handle business on the road on Monday Night Football. I like them to win. I like them to cover. Actually, I like the over a little bit as well. I think Herbert's going to have a lot of games this year with 2+ passing touchdowns. and remind people that he was once looked at as a top 5 trending quarterback. But again, you'll get more Sunday and Monday night analysis when the time comes for Sunday and Monday during my live shows. I need to wait and see what the news is about Brock Bowers because I think he's worth a couple points out there for the Raiders. So if he's out, that changes things. No matter what, thank you so much for watching today's video. Again, humbled to my absolute core at all the likes and the comments and subscriptions. Man, my YouTube has never experienced this. Makes me feel so good, and I thank you for that. If you're interested in all in my actual VIP plays, and you're like, which ones of these end up official? The tails.bet/DFS and Donuts picks link is down below. And if you want access to my betting website and tools and stuff like that, that's the other MySperry Edge website down below. So get the picks with the first link. All right, my friends, tomorrow, touchdown picks, one for every game. Let's get paid.